Welcome to Down the Road with me, Joel Heitkamp. We're going to get a chance to visit about a lot of things today. Congressman Kelly Armstrong from the great state of North Dakota has been picked to be on the committee that's going to take a hard look at what happened on January 6th during that insurrection, during that attempted coup of our nation. So our congressman in North Dakota has been chosen as one of 5 Republicans to serve. They still can be... Nancy Pelosi can still say they're not going to serve on that committee. My suspicion is if you look at who some of the Republicans that have been named, certainly Kelly Armstrong wouldn't be one that she'd kick off. Now, my other suspicion is, and I think I'm right about this, that Leader McCarthy said, will you serve? And my guess is the congressman said yes. Now, this is the same congressman who, I have a lot of respect for, but that same congressman that voted against, a separate investigation into what happened that day, which to me was disappointing. Also, we're going to get a chance to visit with Keith Kempenich. Now, Keith Kempenich is a state representative from Bowman. He contracted COVID after thinking it was no problem. And so, he got really sick, and now he's going around saying you should get vaccinated, which I respect immensely. Ranae Korslien is going to join us. Ranae is the head of the North Dakota State Fair. And so if there's a person with more energy or a person that puts together a better, celebration of North Dakota and an old-fashioned state fair than Ranae, I haven't found him. And so we'll get a chance to visit with her today as well. But Ryan Rauschenberger has been North Dakota's tax commissioner for quite a while now, even though he's a young man. And so let's have a conversation with him. Commissioner Rauschenberger, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Well, thanks for having me on, Joel. Appreciate it.
Want to get a chance to visit with you about some changes that is happening in the tax code, not the least of which is what's happening for families that are eligible. When you look at the expanded child tax credit, there's some money coming these families' way. Walk people through it.
Well, you're right. There's some real money coming to families this year. And back in March, when the American Rescue Plan was passed, it included, as you said, an enhanced child tax credit. And what's unique about this child tax credit is half of it's going to be coming out in 6 equal installments from July through December of this year. And what the credit is equal to is for any family that meets the qualifications. If you're single and if you're making $75,000 or less, or if you're married filing joint and you make $150,000 or less, you're eligible for the full credit, which is $3,000 per child between 6 and 17 years old, and $3,600 for anybody under 6, any child under 6. And what's unique about this credit again is half of it's getting dispersed this calendar year over 6 months. So it's getting spread out over July through December. And it'll come to you in direct deposits. 90% of all of these payments will be made by the IRS via direct deposit. They're using the data that people use when they file federally every tax year. And so it's a unique credit to help jumpstart the economy, get a little shot in the arm of the economy. Instead of waiting till next year to be able to claim the credit, half of it's coming out in 6 equal installments this year. So it's pretty unique.
So, Commissioner, why? Why is it coming out in those installments? What was the theory behind it, do you think?
Well, when you think about the 3 injections of stimulus payments, those went out, between last year and this year. Really, what the federal government wanted to do was get that money out sooner than possible. There's always a lag with filing your income taxes, and waiting until next year to get this refundable credit in the pockets of families takes time. They wanted to get that money out now into the economy to help stimulate it as soon as possible. Waiting another whole potential year or 8 months or 12 months to actually file and get this credit doesn't help what we need now, which is a shot in the arm in the economy federally. This is going out to 38 million families that represents 60 million children. I don't even know the total price tag, to be honest with you, but my understanding is this first July shipment of deposits is equal to about 15 billion. So just this 1 month is a $15 billion shot in the arm now, instead of next February or March, whenever everybody files and gets their refund or whatnot. So I think the fact that these federal stimulus payments, you know, they've got the kind of kinks worked out of it after three checks went out. They felt more comfortable doing something like this, and we might see more of this in the future. But to my recollection, I don't think I've ever seen a tax credit given out in advance like this. So this is very, very unique.
So what happens if, in that meantime, you don't qualify anymore? Do you have to give the money back, or I mean, because it's ahead of your tax payment itself?
So what'll happen is, from an administrative standpoint, the reason they didn't give it all out in advance and only half is if for some reason you don't qualify, there is still the normal tax child tax credit, which was it changed into its current form back in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017. So for families that make under $400,000 a year, you can get a $2,000 per credit for any children under 17. So really what'll happen is, if for some reason you file and you find out you're not eligible at the end of the year, because you're right, IRS is using old information and sending these checks out. So I was a little weary about it at first, but in the end, they're still eligible, likely, if they make under 400,000. So we're catching virtually everybody there. A family making 400,000 or less, they're still going to be eligible for the regular $2,000 per child credit, which is more than half of either of the enhanced credits. So there's a lot of tax planning in it. It is complicated. I'll say that. I would advise anybody who's getting these payments to talk to their tax preparer, because you don't want to get into a situation where you're getting these advance payments, which you can still opt out of if you go to the irs.gov. So if there's somebody out there that wants to not get these payments and use it to offset some business income later, you can do that. Go to irs.gov. But you may be in a situation where you get these payments and then you end up owing some money. And I know people that have opted out because they have a side business and they want to use the money next year to offset income from their business.
Yeah.
But you're right. If somebody's not eligible, they're going to back into the existing permanent child tax credit, which will basically get eaten up by these payments, but they hopefully won't owe because they've taken the advance payments, because they'll have $2,000 per child no matter what.
So, Commissioner Rauschenberger, you have access to the numbers. You know what people make. You've been tax commissioner for a while now. Have you looked at what percentage of North Dakotans that have children and can use children for a tax credit? Have you looked at what percentage of those parents qualify under the guidelines?
You know, that's a good question. I have not looked at the exact numbers. I've really been focused on I've got the national numbers of the 38 million families. You have to imagine that a vast majority of those that received the regular child tax credit, it's tough to judge based on that, because this has totally different parameters, has different income thresholds. But I don't have the information at hand, but we can sure look at it, and I could send it off to you so you can report on it later.
Thank you,
Ryan.
Ryan.
To do that.
So I should have asked this earlier. I apologize if you said it and I missed it. The $3,600 that if you qualify, you're going to get per child, is that in addition to the $2,000 that you were going to get, or is that $16,000 on top of the $2,000?
No, that $3,600 is the child tax credit, the enhanced credit. So it's one or the other. Okay. So you're going to get $3,600 because there's different income qualifications and everything, but you're going to get the $3,600 for every child under 6. That's $3,600. But if you don't qualify, so say you're a family making $200,000 because it phases out at $170,000. So say you're making $200,000 plus a year as a family, you're going to get the $2,000 per child, and instead of the $3,600, but you won't get any advance payments. You just have to claim that credit when you file next year, like a regular, like any credit. Okay. This is really an anomaly, and again, a new system, which is very confusing to people. People have asked, am I going to get taxed on? Am I going to have to pay tax on this advance payment? No, it is really an advance, just an advance on the credit that you would normally get when you file next year. So treat it really as just an advance on a refund that you would get next year. So
the government is putting money into your account in a direct payment based upon whether or not you qualify. And they're doing that at a time post-COVID when they want to inject money into the economy, and they want to do it based upon your income. So if I have 5 kids and I'm making less than $70K a year, I'm about to smile. That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely. And it's refundable. So even if you're making way less than that and really don't pay any tax, this is a refundable credit. So you really don't have to have any tax liability. So if you're making even far less than 75, if you're making $25,000 a year, $30,000, and have very, very little liability, this is refundable. You don't have to have liability to take advantage of it and get it back in a refund. So you are smiling. If you have 5 kids and you're under 75,000 and single, you're going to be really happy about this tax credit program, and it's going to be a real shot in the arm for some mid to low income families.
So what you're telling me is you and I want to end these jobs of TV and tax commissioner and start selling TVs and start selling furniture. But that money's going to go out there, which is the goal. I understand it.
Absolutely, yeah. I need to be selling things because I don't have kids, so there's no way I'm not going to get a credit. So I can make money off the boosting the economy some way, hopefully.
Welcome to my life as a grandparent. Now, I don't think my kids are going to let me get that tax credit, and I don't know. They won't tell me where they are in the spectrum, so whether or not they'd qualify for this or not.
You'll know when Christmas comes what your present's like, what your Christmas present's like.
That's a good point. Where are we at with tax collections? Where are we at percentage-wise? It's a good indicator of what's happening in the North Dakota economy post-COVID.
We're doing really well. We were down first quarter, but think about last year, just I'll use sales tax. We were down first quarter this year compared to last year. But remember, last year, first quarter was pre-COVID. March was just the very beginning of COVID. But really with second quarter, our sales tax collections, our income tax collections are coming in strong. Now, part of that, keep in mind, is inflation. Think about the construction costs on homes, people paying more for products out there. Unfortunately, nobody likes inflation, but it does boost our number one general fund contributor, which is sales tax. So you look at all that lumber, all those products that are going into all these thousands of homes around West Fargo, Bismarck, you name it. Things are going pretty well. We're ahead of forecast. We have a good start to biennium. Unfortunately, oil dropped, I think, $8 in the last week, so we're watching that very closely. But we're still set to collect about $4 to $5 billion this biennium, the next 24 months, in oil tax, as long as oil doesn't continue to drop. But overall, we're doing pretty well post-COVID, better than I frankly thought we would rebound. Okay. So we're coming back strong.
Well, let's cross our fingers because we don't have any idea what's going to happen with this ag market, with as bad a crop is out there. So,
absolutely.
Ryan, say hi to your dad. He served this state in many different capacities, as have you. So thank you. Appreciate you coming.
I'll tell him hi, and thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
When we come back, some thoughts when it comes to that committee that Ryan Rauschenberger, or not Ryan Rauschenberger, but Congressman Armstrong is going to serve on. Ryan Rauschenberger is running 100 miles away because he's too smart to serve on the committee. So stick around.
More, no way.
More coming your way.
Howdy, folks. It's a Kempenich Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our hay-horse and breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at a salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Kempenich burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spool-rattling power with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Yeah. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the game. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
August 7th helped to set the world record for number of paddlecraft on the Cheyenne River. Launch from Valley City or Fort Ransom State Park at 10 a.m. Central Time. See all the details and register at hellovalley.com.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark.
Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close.
Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee.
We'll even ship them to you free.
This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Attention, have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Elmiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took ZANTAC and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
You know, this nation, this beautiful country that we have, on January 6th, had an insurrection. It had an attempted coup of our nation and of our election process. It did. You saw it play out at the United States Capitol. Joel Heitkamp's opinion, along with a lot of people's opinion, is that it was orchestrated by the President of the United States. He knew exactly what he was doing, and of course he had allies in that. He had allies right here in North Dakota. Individuals that encourage people to get on those buses and get out there and defend this nation by doing whatever Donald Trump told them to do. And they're still doing it today. They're still pushing that agenda today. They won't acknowledge the fact that Joe Biden is president. They won't acknowledge the fact that individuals attacked our capital and the people in it. In fact, they're going around saying that these were just tourists. These are good people. You know what? They're not good people. They're not good people. And these same people who are saying, hey, they're great, are the same people who tell you to defend, respect, and honor the American flag. Well, go back and look at the video of what happened on January 6th and look at what they were doing with the American flag and look at what they brought into the Capitol with the Confederate flag. And what you're going to see is people so disrespectful of the lives that were lost in the Civil War, defending freedom for every American, that it's pitiful. It's completely disrespectful to our nation. And here's the other thing. Since the last time we talked, one of those insurrectionists has been sentenced. You look back at the video, you could say he didn't do anything violent other than break into the Capitol and take to the Senate floor. Okay? Yeah, he did. He did. What was he sentenced to? 8 months in prison. Now, the progressives out there and the prosecution wanted it to be, and they recommended 18 months in prison. But I would argue that the time you spend in prison is supposed to teach you not to do anything like that again. And the time that you spend in prison is supposed to send a signal to other people not to do it. I think it does do that. I think 8 months is enough. But the fact that he's going to prison needed to happen. There's going to be a lot more of that. There's going to be a lot more of that. And so this congressional committee that our Congressman, Kelly Armstrong, has been appointed to, has to be approved, by the way, by Nancy Pelosi. She can reject any of these members on the committee. Mike McCarthy, the leader on the Republican side, is who put these names forward. But she's not going to reject Kelly Armstrong, even though he voted against basically, a group of individuals being named and looking at this in the form of a commission. So, Congressman Armstrong didn't do what was right there. Hopefully he'll do what's right on this committee. He'll ask the tough questions. He'll get into what was in their mind, because here's the first question I would ask any one of those insurrectionists. What drove them to it? I realize they feel the election was stolen, which it wasn't. It's been proven time and time again it wasn't. But I would ask them what got them so riled up that day that they took to the Capitol, built a gallows, bludgeoned police officers. They took to the Capitol, broke in when they knew they weren't supposed to break in, and they were going to find Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi, at least some of them, and kill them, because that's what was going to happen. If they would have got their hands on Nancy Pelosi, she'd be dead today. If they would have got their hands on Mike Pence, he'd be dead today. So I suppose that's the appearance of bipartisanship, right? Maybe that's what they can sell. Congressman Armstrong took this on. He got asked. You know that he got asked. But understand this. Jim Jordan, take a look at what and who he is. This is a former wrestling coach. This is a man with a history that some wouldn't be proud of. And while he has served in Congress, you definitely would have to say he has been one of the most partisan members of Congress. In terms of trying to get things done, he's the Mitch McConnell of the House. He has blocked anything you possibly could do, all in the name of partisanship. That's right. You're not going to see Jim Jordan vote for an infrastructure plan. You're not going to see that. And so keep that in mind. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that Congressman Armstrong's going to do the right thing here. Ask the tough questions. He's an attorney. And quite frankly, I think he's a pretty decent guy. So we'll track it, we'll follow it, and we'll continue to have conversations about it right here as we go down the road. Also want to mention a couple other things. Jeff Bezos today, the founder, the man, the millionaire, sorry, I got that wrong, over 200 billionaire. That's right. He's got more money than anybody, well, a lot of people out there. He's worth over $200 billion. And he put a ton of that money into making sure that he could go to space, or his definition of space. And he accomplished that today. They built a spaceship. I guess I'm going to ask you this. Why is it that Jeff Bezos doesn't have to pay the same amount of taxes that you do? I mean, you can sit there and say, well, he pays more. That's not necessarily true. If you look at how much he makes and the percentage that he pays, it is way less than what you pay. Unless, of course, you're a billionaire and you're taking in the show today. He's not doing his fair share when it comes to this nation. We have such a separation now of those individuals that have money, a lot of money, and those of us that just get up in the morning every day and go to work and don't think about when we can buy the next and the biggest yacht. We also have to have a conversation, and we can do that as we continue down the road someday, about Dwight Kiefert, a Republican from Valley City, who's being recalled by other Republicans from Valley City. Dwight Kiefert is about as conservative as you can get. He is a conservative. He's being played out to be not conservative by the committee that wants to recall him. And why? Why? Well, because he's not Republican enough. He didn't support Luke Simons. the butt grabber. I could put it other ways, but Luke Simons is someone that needed to be kicked out of the legislature, and Dwight Kiefer did the right thing. We'll be back. We'll get a chance to talk to Representative Keith Kempenich when we come back here on on Down the Road.
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Calling all first responders. Join us Friday, July 30th for First Responders Night at the Bismarck Event Center. The Bucks take on the Green Bay Blizzard with a 6:05 p.m. kickoff. For more information on tickets, please visit bismarckbucks.com.
You know, when I was in the legislature, Representative Keith Kempenich was there. He was one of those individuals I always could approach, always talk to, always float by an idea. Now, we didn't always vote the same. You know, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you need people like that in the legislature that disagree, that have debates, and maybe you get good policy because of that. But I know this, he was always approachable. He was always someone that was willing to hear your side of it. Well, Representative Kempenich is somebody that contracted COVID. And quite frankly, his family was worried, and we all should have been worried over whether or not we could lose him and his service to the state of North Dakota. Let's bring him in. Representative, good to have you coming down the road.
Thank you, Joel. Yeah, you were always. I mean, you were in the leadership role more so when you were there and stuff on it, and on the Senate side. But yeah, it was always tried to be. You never get anywhere unless you got two sides and try to work towards the middle and stuff on it. And so that's one thing that, and truthfully, we had like our Ole Arswold and Gary Wilkie came out deer hunting for years, and stuff, and they were on the other side of the aisle, but pretty much common interests and stuff on it. And so that was always refreshing. It was. But yeah, this year with this COVID issue, last summer, truthfully, my life really didn't change much. We went through the summer and into the fall, and really didn't do much social distancing or anything. We had a crop adjust and then ranch in the interim when I'm not in the legislature, but really didn't change that much until November. I'm almost sure I got it. The gal that was riding with me and her mom contracted it, and so I thought I was kind of immune from it. And when we went into session, kind of didn't take it probably too serious as far as all the protocols, and we had to mask up, or basically wore shields and stuff during most of the session actually and stuff on it, but just tried to stay, truthfully, I tried to stay away from like at lunchtime and stuff. I usually went down either early or later, so there wasn't big crowds and stuff, and just kind of did that. But I was around people all winter that were in and out, and up until the final days of the session, and that week, Monday evening, I didn't feel well, and then Tuesday went to the emergency room, and they told me I had it, tested positive, and then after that it kind of took it really went fast, because by Thursday I was back to Bismarck and in the hospital. So it moved very fast, and that's one thing that really got concerning, and it got into my lungs. It was COVID pneumonia. And so wound up in the hospital, and it really took my energy down, and that's one thing. And it was that first night was couldn't keep my oxygen above 80, and they wanted you above 90, and there was some issues with it's a moistener in the oxygen, but for a couple days there, I was pretty much on oxygen. Never did have to go on a respirator, but I had to be on an oxygen to keep it above 90%. So,
Keith, was there ever a time that you thought, you know what, I don't know that I'm going to make it through this?
That Thursday night, Friday, I probably wasn't taking it as serious as my wife and the doctor in Bowman here, because I went into the emergency room in town here in Bowman, and he didn't he right away said that you probably aren't I told him, he said, well, I don't think we can do anything for you here, and I got to thinking, I said, well, this ain't good. And I said, well, we can take off for Bismarck. He said, no, we're ordering an airplane there, we're gonna life flight you up. Then it got a little more serious. I was thinking, man, this is a little. And that evening and that night, when I couldn't get my oxygen above 80, the alarm kept going off, and you started thinking that this might not have as good of outcome. When they brought in the respirator, because of that, I was thinking this wasn't going in the right direction, and I didn't feel bad, other than you just couldn't breathe, and so that was probably, when you're going through that, it's kind of coming at you very fast. So. But yeah, I thought about it. I was thinking, where's the life insurance at, and everything else. Well, I mean, you kind of goes through your mind.
I'm glad that we can joke about it now. That's the key. I'm glad that we can at least smile, Keith. I want to ask you this: the vaccine was available to you. You could have taken it, and now you have been vaccinated. Now. You're advocating for people to be vaccinated. Why didn't you take it?
I thought I was kind of went through it, because like most things, when you get it and like a flu bug or something, and I think I was probably had a little bit of immunity built up from previous, but obviously, and so I thought I was probably immune to it, and so I didn't put it on the priority list of things to do.
So
I didn't.
I do have to ask you this, because you're a leader. I mean, people know you.
Yeah.
You've been in, how many years have you been in the legislature?
28.
There.
28
I mean,
years, yeah.
That's a long time that people have said, we want to send you to Bismarck. And so how are you using your experience now? I know that you've made yourself available upon our request on radio and now TV, but what are you telling guys when you stop off and you have a beer, or when you go to the sale barn, or when you're working crop adjusting, or, I mean, what are you telling people in the Bowman, in that area?
Well, I think a lot of the more vulnerable, ones that I know have taken it already, and that's one thing I deal with people quite a bit and stuff, and so the thing I've been stressing is that if you don't want to lose time at work or just get laid up at the wrong times, there's an option available. I'm not going to force anybody or try to tell them that they need to take it, but you can't beat this on your own. It's something, that's what I always thought, if you just kind of do a hot toddy, do a little brandy and hot brandy and honey and lemon juice, and it'll sweat it out, and the next morning you should be better. And this is one where you aren't going to do that, and so that's one of the things that just telling people, kind of what my experience has been. And I know there's been some people who have pushed back on this, but there is an option available. You don't have to, and that's the thing. I think there's a lot of hype on this vaccine, and there's a lot of information that you need to look at. And I think that's one thing that if people got questions, they should go talk to their doc and and go from there, because I was use an example of my mother-in-law. She went, and then she's 82 years old, and she went through it and didn't have any symptoms. And then some, have some symptoms. And I know we talked to a guy yesterday, he's a little older than I am, and he got it, and he was just kind of felt a little tough for a half a day or so, and then, but it was kind of weird. I was talking to the guy last week. They had a wedding, and they wanted everybody, the bride and groom wanted everybody to be vaccinated, so they didn't have to feel guilty if somebody got it and then passed away. And so they wanted everybody to have a shot before the wedding. And actually, he was saying his son actually was the worst. He had the worst reaction of any of them. Yeah. And he was like 20 years old, and so it hits people differently. You can't really use it as an average of what happens and stuff on it. And and truthfully, I think this is going to be like a flu issue. I got a feeling we're going to be, if you get the shots, you're going to wind up getting boosters, and the next year they'll take some variants of what the virus is and try to vaccinate for it, because I kind of use it because we do ranch, and this vaccine is kind of a modified live type vaccine, and that's why I think people get reaction to it a little more, is because it is the actual virus. It isn't a killed virus and stuff. So
well, I can tell you this, I'll take it if they want me to take a booster shot every year. Versus being life flighted into Bismarck. I like plane rides, but none like that. So
yeah, no, that was your butt. That hospital bed, the soft spots wore out of that 2 days into it.
I don't doubt it.
There wasn't a soft spot on that bed anymore.
Not only that, but you're somebody who knows what it's like to work, and not being able to work had to have drove you nuts. Representative, good to have you coming down the road with us. I'm glad we were able to talk. I appreciate it.
No. Yep. Thanks a lot, Joel. We'll talk to you later.
You bet. When we come back, let's head up to the state fair. Ranae Korslien is going to join us. She's an individual that's been in charge of this for a while. A bundle of energy. Let's help you know what's going on at the state fair as we head on down the road.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took ZANTAC and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing, because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Reginae. The winning team is the Flumin River Excellence.
Oh my God!
They won!
There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, that she is the head of North Dakota State Fair. Ranae Korslien in Minot, North Dakota. And don't forget this, that's the home of North Dakota State Fair, is one of those individuals that I wish I had as much energy as. Let's bring her in. Ranae, always good to visit with you. Thanks for coming down the road with us.
Well, good morning. Yes, sir. Yes.
I want to know about the cheese curds. No, never mind. You get asked about that every other day, I'm sure. Right?
Cheese curds are here. They're set up. They're ready to go. All I got to do is warm up the grease.
Okay. How about the pork chop on a stick? Are we going to have that?
We've got it. It's here.
Okay, good. One of the reasons I asked you to come on was because I wanted to make sure people knew that their state fair is going to be going on. I know that you've put a lot of work into it and have a lot of events going on. Just tell people about it.
Oh, absolutely. And I smiled to myself when I read our slogan. It says, now summer is real. Now it's really summer. Oh, boy, is it. I mean, we know it's warm, so it's really summer. It is so bustling around here, Joel. You should be here. We have got the food booths set up. The vendors are moving in. We've got first shows starting early tomorrow morning, so they're starting to come in. They're judging quilts as we speak. And if I understand right, they got so many quilt entries, they ran out of spaces of where to hang them. So lots of good stuff happening, and we're ready to roll.
So when you say a lot of good stuff, I want to make sure we mention this, because we're going to go over what's in the grandstand, which, of course, everybody wants to know. But I want to mention this. It's still an old-fashioned state fair. I've been there every year, except, of course, the COVID year, which you had to pull the pin on, and, of course, the year that it flooded. that there was a flood. You know, you didn't have any choice then, but it still is a state fair, which I go to the livestock barns. I get a chance to see what's there. Talk to people about what the 4-H kids do.
Oh, honest to goodness, they bring in 4-H, FFA, open class exhibits. We have over 46,000 every year, 47,000. This year, I expect even more that will be on the grounds during the 9 days of fair. The barns will be packed, and I understand the goat barn should get an extra level because it's going to be double packed with goats. But so much livestock, and it's coming in. So I'm proud of those farmers that are ranchers that are keeping it up, and they'll bring them to fair.
Why goats? I don't know that you're going to have the answer to that, but why are goats going to be doubled up?
Well, I think a lot of times, especially 4-H and FFA kids, they don't have the opportunity to probably raise a real steer or a larger animal where maybe they can goats. Or, I think that's part of it. And goat meat. We all know it's becoming more popular.
Or they don't want to mow. I mean, that's they're young enough so they don't want to mow. Who's got the Midway this year, Ranae?
Crabtree Amusements. That's who we had in 2019, and they brought in 2 big spectaculars that have never been in North Dakota. Plus, I think they said close to 12 additional kiddie rides. They're a phenomenal carnival business.
I've seen them. I saw them in the Red River Valley here at the Cass County Fair, but I have to tell you, they bring even more in for you. This is a way bigger deal to them.
Yes. We're so fortunate that they agreed to come here.
Yeah. A couple other things. I want to make sure, and you're going to get mad at me if we don't. So walk people through what you've invested money in the grandstands. Tell people what events are going to be happening what days.
Well, we're really excited about them because a lot of people are excited about it and they want to come. Of course, we're going to open up with Leonard Skinnard, and there is a lot of talk, and tickets are going very well for him. So if you plan on going, make sure you get your tickets right now. Who knows what'll be left on Friday. Saturday, we've got Dan and Shay. I mean, top of the line act. Sunday is Ashley McBride. Monday is Enduro. Tuesday is a freestyle motocross. Wednesday, we have got Sawyer Brown. But in addition to Sawyer Brown, we've got Tiger Lily opening for them. And very excited about that. Quickly, Tiger Lily went to Sawyer Brown and said, we have a lot of local people that would like to come just to Sawyer Brown. Is there any way we can work it out? And they are allowing a daily ticket to come to just that show if you choose for $25. But Tiger Lily did that for us. So happy about that. That's Wednesday night. And then Thursday we have Casey Donahue. Friday is Billy Idol. And Saturday is Kane Brown.
Well, and this might show my age, Ranae, and maybe my taste in music a little bit, but Leonard Skinnard and Billy Idol. I mean, I'm glad they're there yet. I'm glad they're out making music yet. I saw Leonard Skinnard one time in Sturgis when I was there, and I have to tell you, that was one of the best concerts I ever saw. And I have never seen Billy Idol, so that would be a blast as well.
It will be. It'll be exciting. Plus, we've got 2 nights of bull riding in the arena and 2 nights of ranch rodeo in this great facility that is air conditioned. And so it may be warm out there, so you can come into the State Fair Center.
Okay. And some of these are going to be very interesting, but tell me about the acts that happen where you can just walk around the grounds and say, holy cow, I can't believe they do this.
I know, absolutely. It's all of our free stage acts, and we've got them in every corner. You know, we've got over 8 free stages that we buy entertainment for, and they set up. They're setting up today. We've got World of Wonders. It's the old Midway where the guy will swallow a sword and somebody will have breathed fire, and they've got all the great old stuff going on. We've got some native dancing going on over there. We've got stage 2 with all of our different musical. We have a jet pack circus in an Olympic-sized pool where they hook a jet ski up to the stuff, and people shoot up in the air and they do their acrobats with it. And no, I'm not going to try it, Joel. So
you're not going to talk me into it either.
No.
I'm coming up for co-op day. You know that. I always come up. I'm there on Wednesday for co-op day, which, by the way, I recommend you get there on Wednesday. Co-op day is a wonderful day, but I'm not going to try it for today. I don't care how hard you talk me into it. I'm just not.
But, you know, there's so many free stages to go to. And if you don't want to go to the grandstand for a show at night, that is just one of the options. But all these free stages, you can spend 2-3 days walking from free stage to free stage. And they're all great and they're all new.
I want to compliment you on this. All the times I've been there, and I've been there a lot of times, every year that it was available to me in my years in media to go to, you run a clean fair. You run a fair where there's no garbage hanging around. The bathrooms are something when you walk in, you know, you feel like somebody cares about our fairgrounds, and it's kid friendly. It's one of those, I've got 6 grandkids and I'd feel just fine taking any one of them to the fair in terms of being safe and being on that midway and knowing that they're safe, Ranae. And I want to compliment you on that.
Thank you. And I take that thank you from compliment from many people because our grounds are clean. And it's our staff. They do it year round. It's a pleasure for me to drive on each morning and look around at our green grass and our cleanness. It's this staff, Joel, and I am so proud to work with every one of them because they are good people.
Well, I can tell you this. My wife's not going to tell me what to eat when I get to the state fair. I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat because it's going to be good. Ranae, give people the website. Let them know exactly how to get in touch with you.
Yes, please, ndstatefair.com. Or if you need to, call us at 857-7620. Buy your tickets now. Buy your gate tickets, buy your grandstand tickets, all online. Then you don't have to stand in any line.
Yeah, keep doing what you do and don't ever think about retiring. Okay, Ranae?
Thank you.
Good to have you coming down the road with us. When we come back, some closing comments. Stick around.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree Dental Card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-3815.
Spas, etc. Yeah.
You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you can pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
Calling all first responders. Join us Friday, July 30th for First Responders Night at the Bismarck Event Center. The Bucks take on the Green Bay Blizzard with a 6:05 p.m. kickoff and will highlight those who serve and protect our communities. For more information on tickets, please visit bismarckbucks.com. Get your free general admission tickets today.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Couple of things I got to get off my chest. Number one, North Dakota has received the most money per capita, or we're close to it, of COVID dollars, of trying to get out there and get the help from COVID that we need. Every member of our delegation voted against that. So if they start coming forth and saying, look, see, I delivered, call them on it. Call them on it. If they're grabbing those great big scissors and cutting ribbons and saying, look, I delivered, call them on it. They can't sit there and brag about something that they voted against. They can if you don't do anything about it. And clearly that's going to happen. A couple other things I want to get out there to you. You know, when you look at what's happening to Dwight Kiefert in Valley City, this is about Luke Simons. That's what this is about. This is about a state representative from Dickinson, North Dakota, that was, well, very inappropriate with females in the legislature and females on the staff that support the legislature. And he went after him. He went after him. He was sexually inappropriate. It was documented. He was talked to about it. He thought he was an individual that never had to worry about it. Well, he did. They voted him out of the legislature, and they had the ability to do that. And he knew that. He knew that. Well, one of those individuals that voted to remove Luke Simons from the legislature was a man named Dwight Kiefert. Now, he's a state representative from Valley City, very conservative state representative, and now they're coming after him. There's a movement to recall him from within the district. Now, you're going to hear from individuals on this very network saying that they shouldn't do that. But know this. The group that is involved doing this is the same group that is associated with one of the hosts that you know here from our network. It's the truth. It's out there. He may not be pushing it, but he's the one that put together that group. And I'm just going to say that Representative Becker needs to come out and support Dwight Kiefert in a stronger way. It's been good riding with you, folks.